I'm not building Siege anymore. That's the basic gist of it. Hi, and welcome to Red Evony. I am Akayasha. You can call me Aka. So, you probably hopped into this video wondering what kind of craziness is Aka gonna talk about now. But, as the title of the video implies, I've basically decided to stop building Siege. Right, now let me explain how this whole thing came about. For me, Siege has always been a perpetual issue that I've had to deal with. For the kind of build that I have, it's difficult to buff all my troop types to the point where I'm practically invincible against everything. And unfortunately, the thing that suffers the most in my defense is Siege. So, I basically got to the point where I just gave up on Siege. Okay? It was the kind of thing where I was like, you know what? If I'm getting hit by Siege, I just resign myself to the fact that I'm not going to do great on the exchange. Okay? It's not like I do terrible, all right? But I don't expect to win. However, there are times when I do get hit by Siege and I do okay. And in those kind of situations, I'm like, haha, in your face, sucker. But all kidding aside, that's the situation that I've pretty much been in. Now, this was kind of manageable when I was a bit smaller because those kind of situations, you get hit by Siege and then they follow up with like ranged or calves or something. And I generally tend to do okay on the exchanges in those follow-up attacks. If I'm being attacked by somebody that is like, okay, let's say K43, K44, I usually do okay on the exchanges for those other attacks. So I kind of make up for the deficit that I have with Siege. The problem that I've been having recently, though, is that as I've been getting bigger, let's say from 6 billion and above, people don't attack me with those other troops anymore. For the K43s and 44s that usually hit me, all they hit me with now is Siege. And as you can imagine, that's created a bit of a dilemma for me. Now, if I wanted to fix this situation and really get my Siege to a very strong point, I need to make adjustments to my buffs and my debuffs. But that's not that easy to do. Take debuffs, for example. So these are my subs here, okay? And as you can see, all my generals are there, and they are all doing good work, providing decent debuffs for all the troop types and everything like that. But if I wanted to adjust my debuffs so that they're better for Siege, I need to make some changes to the generals and the gear that I have. And of course, there's a trade-off for that. So I'm not really too keen on that one. The best thing for me to do is to get a new sub, okay? I have 10 subs right now. Unlock a new sub slot, probably at VIP 18 or, maybe go crazy and get the Glory expansion, all right? Get the new sub, get a new sub general, somebody that is geared for Siege, maybe Nero, or if I splurge, Simon, right? Put gear on them, focus it on Siege, and get my Siege debuffs up a bit. That would be the ideal situation. However, at the stage that I'm at right now, and with my current spending level, that's a bit difficult to do. Looking at my VIP, I'm currently VIP 17, okay? This is what I need to get up to VIP 18. Now, doing some rough estimation, I figured that this would cost me round about $5,000 to get to VIP 18 and unlock the next sub slot. But of course, that's easier said than done. I've thought about ways that I could, kind of sort out this situation. I was thinking maybe I could do like a GoFundMe, okay? Try and raise money for getting the new sub slot. Or, I don't know, maybe just start every video with a cup and a sign, okay? But I don't really know how well that would work. So, that idea is on hold for now. It's not cancelled, it's on hold. So, making significant improvements on my debuffs is not really in the works right now. Now, as for my buffs, so you've probably seen me talk about Paxify on the channel. But in case you haven't, Paxify is a company that provides discount for gamers. They have been providing discounts for other games, and now they are providing for Evony players. So far, I've used Paxify, a few of my friends have used it, and everything is good so far. And the plus side of Paxify is that anyone can use it anywhere in the world. There's an option for Android users and an option for iOS users. It's really easy to set up, will literally take you a few minutes. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to check them out, links to their website is down in the description, or you can just do a Google search, look for Paxify, or search for Paxify on Trustpilot. They've got tons of reviews there and you can check it out for yourself. With that, if you're interested and you would like to see how easy it is for you to set it up, the link to the setup video I did is down in the description. It shows you how easy it is for you to get up and start running with Paxify. So, if you're not using any discount service right now, or you want to see if you could save a bit more, check out Paxify. I have, of course, been working on my buffs. I try to increase them as much as I can. So this is where I'm at in my military academy. Okay, I still got quite a lot of stuff to do in there, but the tactics scrolls are not coming in as much as I'd like. And of course, they don't go as far as you want them to. So increasing my buffs for Siege on defense is going to be a gradual grind. I still work on it, work on the buffs, work on the debuffs every day, but yeah, it's a slow process. And when you put all of these things together, I basically came to the conclusion that it doesn't really make sense for me to build out any more Siege. Right now, I've got, a fairly decent amount of Siege, at least enough to, defend my keep and to do, a Siege rally or two when I need to. And yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it there because I don't want to get into a situation where I'm literally just bleeding out points every time I get hit by Siege. So that's the first part of the explanation. There's a second part. Now, for this second part, I don't know, maybe some people might want to kill me after I say this, but in my opinion, when you are below a certain level in Evony, focusing on Siege is kind of a bit overrated. That's just my opinion. Like, we hear how Siege is great for defense and all the big players are like Siege this and Siege that. But when you're below that point, yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Now, to begin with, why is Siege even considered good for defense? Okay, that's basically because on defense, in the absence of significant amounts of Siege, your defending Siege is going to attack the attacker's archers. All right? And we know archers is pretty much the go-to attack in Evony. Now, your Siege will be killing their archers, making it more difficult for them to break you down. Not impossible, just more difficult. And once the Siege you have gets to a certain point, they usually switch the first attack on you from archers to Siege. Okay? Break down your Siege, try and get your Siege down to a decent level, and then they start with the archers and, follow on like that. So, in a nutshell, that's basically why Siege is considered good for defense. However, in reality, for most people below a certain level, your Siege doesn't really do much. And you don't need to take my word for it. You can check it out in your battle reports. Okay? I looked at my battle reports and yeah, I kind of noticed that my Siege, they were getting some kills, but not so much that it would make me want to jump in and go completely ham on Siege. That's what I found when I looked at my reports. And to even further this, I asked a few of my friends, okay, people with decent power, right? We're talking about most of them being 10 billion and above. And I asked them to send me their defense reports against, archer attacks or archer rallies, so I could see how well their siege actually does. And in all honesty, the general opinion that I got from looking at, quite a few of their reports was that the siege wasn't doing all that much. So, yeah, putting all those things together, I came to the conclusion that when you're below a certain level of power, certain level of buffs, going crazy on siege isn't really beneficial for you. That's just my hot take on it. So, for now, I've stopped building any type of siege, right? Like I said, I have the siege to defend my keep and to attack with and stuff like that. And that's fine. What I'm going to do now is focus on improving my siege buffs and my siege debuffs as much as I can until they get to the point where I'm comfortable enough that they're at a decent level, and then I can start building out a bit more siege again. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you agree with the logic? Do you disagree? Feel free to drop a comment down below. Now, while we are on this topic of siege, one of the big reasons now why people build siege is to use that siege for attacking. Okay? Now, if you're in that kind of situation, or you're just starting out and you want to start doing siege attacks, but you're not really sure how, you can check out this video here where I lay down a very simple format that you can follow for your siege march to help you get going with attacking with siege. So if you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Aka signing out.